All righty. Well, in sticking with the subject of the financial world, Brian, we talked a couple weeks ago about Jack Pfeffer's income tax returns and the odd deductions he took and the amount of them, and also the amount of money that he made from booking wrestlers all over the country to various promoters, right? And I think I mentioned it was in these were my handwritten notes. In 1950, he made $10,000 off Buddy Rogers as his commission for getting Rogers booked. Now, Rogers was one of the biggest draws into business at the time, but we don't know because a lot of his records are handwritten and it just lines on a piece of paper with names and figures. We don't know what deal he had with each individual guy, and they varied. By the end of it, we'll have a segment sometime soon when I can really do some more note taking on the Fargos, but there was a period of time toward the end of his career, Pfeffer's career, in the early 60s, where he only had a few guys like Jackie and Don Fargo and some girls that he was booking, but he would get the same thing they got for a payoff. So if they each got $50, he got $50 from the promoter. But in the days where he had all these guys and he was sending them to all these different major promoters, he had a piece, but not that much. So would you think, Brian, is it reasonable to assume that if Rogers here, I have another payoff sheet with all the wrestlers that he had, and my picture cut this off. I don't know whether it's 1949 or 1948. But that year, he made $8,392.93 off of Buddy Rogers' bookings. Would that have meant that he got 20%? Rogers couldn't have made $83,000 in 1948. But even at 20%, what was $40,000 in 1948 or 49? What would that be in today's money?
According to the inflation calculator, $40,000 in 1949 would be $542,000, give or take, today.
So, I mean, that's believable because of where Rogers was and what we're seeing about some of these other financial records. But this has Billy Darnell, who would become one of Rogers' favorite opponents in that initial push. In 1950, he got $5,000 off of Darnell's bookings. This year, he only got $1,560. So this was still forming because we're finding out more and more that Pfeffer is the one that pushed Rogers to the capes and the posters and the robes and the nature boy, the whole gimmick aspect of Rogers. Of course, he was responsible for the in-ring working. But that was his golden goose for a long time, and that's why later on there was such bitterness. But listen to some of these other names. I don't even know who a lot of them were. He got $3,220 off somebody named Demon. So he has some masked guy, right? I guess. But that would be, again, equivalent to like fucking, what's $3,200 from 1949?
$3,200 in 1949 would be approximately $43,000 and change today.
So somehow, some guy named Demon, that's what he got for the year. Frank Hickey is on here for $690. I believe Levin, possibly Dave Levin, $1,077. I'm pretty sure it would have been him. He was one of the guys Pfeffer pushed as a champion.
That's right.
Sammy
Pfeffer
Berg
created him. Pfeffer created Dave Levin.
That's right. And created the path that he claimed the title from, right, on those posters.
He said he was the Jamaican butcher boy, or not Jamaican, but Jamaica butcher boy. He was from Jamaica, Queens, and they tried to make him the Jewish champion. He wasn't Jewish. He was a German kid from Queens, and Pfeffer gave him a name and gave him the career.
And now here, even the late 40s, Marshall, would that be Everett Marshall? Was he still active?
Probably.
It almost has to be $2,250. And then, I mean, there's a lot of names. Sandow, not sure Young Sandow, one
Did
of
you-
the, you know, those type of, go ahead.
Did you know that Pfefer was booking Everett Marshall?
Well, you know, no, maybe Everett Marshall might not have known it. Knowing Jack Pfefer, who knows? Here's Walter Podolak that would become the Golden Superman, $200. Tor Johnson, of course, later to become famous for his role in Plan 9 from Outer Space, $255. I mean, there's just a lot of names here. Yvonne Robert, $165. Kowalski with a Y. I don't know, but $290.
What about Blimp Levy?
Levy, $50
Really? Huh.
for Levy. It just says Levy. It's got to be him. But was he injured and out with the year? Did he break off with Pfefer? Or was that he was morbidly obese? Was he ready to call it quits by 1948 or 49?
Yeah, I don't know.
But I mean, this whole, the total is, goddamn, well, he's got two columns total. So 38 is $44,500 he got from talent. So what would that be from 49? 44 grand. From 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
I did 44.5 based on what you said. That'd be $603,000.
Yeah, and there's like 40 guys on this list. So that no wonder he was fucking crazy writing letters all the time. Can you imagine trying to keep up with all of that in the days before modern communication, as they say?
No, based on the money he was making, if he didn't live in hotels his whole life, he had enough money to have like a beautiful house anywhere at that point in time.
Oh, well, listen to the expenses now. I got his expenses for 1950. Remember, I found this picture I got printed out from Hotchkiss. Because 1950 is the year where he made like $60,000 plus in booking fees from talent and a promoter in Ohio. But he declared 26 grand in expenses. $26,000 in 1950 is the same as him declaring fucking $300,000 in expenses off of his income tax, right? Railroad fares and transportation, $1,981. Hotels, $1,624. Office storage, $345.
Where's that? Yeah.
He was storing his meals while on road, $2,920. Let's say $3 grand. That he's writing off like 45 grand in food or whatever. Taxi, $1,300. Photos, cuts, and mats. That's pictures and the printing process of the day. $668. Tips on railroads and hotels, $1,020. That's 13 grand in tips. Printing, addressing, and mailing, $285. Stenographic and secretarial service, $1,500. Telegrams, Western Union, $155. Telephone, long distance, $2,276. The only thing he spent more on than the phone was on food. Postage, $1,404. Luggage, $352. Dressing room attendance and help, $780. Capes and tailoring, $358. Oh, bonus to athletes and help, $3,357. Remember, he gave Rogers a $1,500 bonus. And then entertaining, publicity, gifts, promotion, and public relations, $5,853. So that was how but still, he would have ended up, he's writing off everything because he has no home. He lives in hotels. He writes off all of his meals, all of his phone calls. So he still came out $30-something thousand ahead and paid tax on that. Where'd all the rest of that money go?
And that's 1 year.
We're talking in today's money. That's 1 year. We're talking in today's money. In the 1950s, he made millions.